What happens when comedy collides with tragedy? When a single late-night joke snowballs into a cultural firestorm, splitting America in two. This is not just a story about one man, one joke, or even one TV show. This is the story of Jimmy Kimmel's suspension, a moment where humor met politics, where grief clashed with satire, and where America's endless debate over free speech and responsibility erupted once again. Introduction. Setting the stage, Jimmy Kimmel is no stranger to controversy. For nearly 2 decades, he has ruled the stage of Jimmy Kimmel Live, blending late-night humor with sharp political commentary. But comedy, by its very nature, lives on the edge. One misstep, one poorly timed joke, and the punchline can turn into a scandal. In September 2025, that line wasn't just crossed, it was erased. Just days after the shocking and unexpected death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, Kimmel delivered a monologue that instantly ignited outrage. For his fans, it was another example of biting satire. For his critics, it was heartless mockery of the dead. Within hours, hashtags lit up, affiliates threatened boycotts, and ABC, the network home of Jimmy Kimmel Live, announced a suspension. What followed was not just about late-night television. It became a battleground for America's cultural war. The incident, what actually happened? Let's rewind. Charlie Kirk was not just another political figure. By 2025, he had become a lightning rod in conservative America, founder of Turning Point USA, a constant presence on Fox News, a polarizing but undeniable force in youth politics. When news broke of his death, the nation was shocked. Even his fiercest critics expressed sympathy for the sudden loss. And then came Kimmel's monologue. With his trademark smirk, Kimmel made a quip that mentioned Kirk's death in a way many found cold, even cruel. The exact words matter less than the timing. Comedy delivered in the shadow of tragedy. Within minutes, clips were ripped from the broadcast and shared on X, YouTube, and TikTok. Conservative commentators accused Kimmel of mocking the dead. Progressives defended him. This is what comedy does. It punches up, it provokes, it stings. But the fury didn't just live online. It spread into boardrooms, affiliate stations, and political podiums. The suspension and fallout, ABC's decision was swift. Facing complaints not just from viewers, but from affiliate networks, the local stations that actually air the show, ABC pulled the plug, announcing a temporary suspension of Jimmy Kimmel Live. The move sent shockwaves through Hollywood. Over 400 actors, musicians, and artists, from Disney stars to Netflix directors, signed an open letter condemning the suspension. Organizations like the ACLU argued this was not accountability, but censorship. But on the other side, conservative pundits celebrated. To them, it wasn't about censorship at all. It was about holding Hollywood elites accountable. For once, they said, a late-night host learned he wasn't untouchable. The fallout divided America, yet again. Comedy on trial. A long history. To understand why this moment hit so hard, we need to step back. Comedy has always flirted with controversy. In the 1960s, Lenny Bruce was arrested multiple times for obscenity, his routines pushing the boundaries of free speech. In the 1970s, George Carlin's 7 Words You Can Never Say on Television went all the way to the Supreme Court, shaping broadcast regulations. In the 2000s, Dave Chappelle and Ricky Gervais were accused of punching down, sparking debates about cancel culture. Comedy thrives on discomfort. But in today's digital age, every joke lives forever, replayed, dissected, politicized. Jimmy Kimmel's suspension was not just about one remark. It was about decades of tension between humor and outrage, amplified by social media and weaponized by politics. The role of networks and affiliates. Here's a part of the story many overlook. Jimmy Kimmel doesn't just belong to ABC. His show is carried across the country by local affiliates, stations that depend on advertising, community reputation, and, yes, politics. And many of those affiliates are owned by conservative-leaning conglomerates like Nexstar or Sinclair. When angry viewers flooded phone lines and advertisers threatened to pull funding, these affiliates pressured ABC. Suspend him, or we walk. So was Kimmel suspended because Disney executives suddenly grew a conscience? Or because the machinery of broadcast television forced their hand? In truth, it was both, a perfect storm of outrage, business, and politics. Public reaction. The digital wildfire. The internet did what it always does. It split in two. On one side, hashtags like #CancelKimmel trended for days. YouTube filled with reaction videos titled, "Kimmel crosses the line," or "Hollywood hypocrisy exposed." On the other, #StandWithKimmel became a rallying cry, with celebrities and influencers arguing that comedy is under siege. Podcasts debated endlessly. Talk radio fumed. Even politicians weighed in. Conservative lawmakers accused Kimmel of showing Hollywood's hatred for Middle America. Progressive representatives countered that suspending him was a dangerous precedent, chilling free speech. What began as a single joke became a referendum on America itself. Kimmel's silence and anticipated return. In the days following the suspension, Kimmel himself went silent. No interviews. No tweets. No apologies. This silence only fueled speculation. Would he issue a tearful mea culpa? Or would he return swinging, doubling down with sharper jokes aimed at his critics? Reports from inside ABC suggest Kimmel is preparing to address the controversy head-on upon his return. But knowing his style, it won't be a simple apology. It will be comedy, dark, biting, layered with irony. The question is, will America laugh, or turn away? Analysis. Why this blew up? Why did this one moment explode into national crisis? 3 reasons. Timing. The joke came in the immediate aftermath of a shocking death. Tragedy amplifies offense. Polarization. America's cultural divide ensures every controversy becomes a political weapon. Corporate pressure. ABC acted not in isolation, but under the weight of affiliates, advertisers, and shareholders. This was never just about Jimmy Kimmel. It was about the collision of comedy, politics, and business in 21st century America. The bigger picture, free speech versus responsibility. Here lies the heart of the debate. Should comedians have absolute freedom to say anything in the name of humor? Or do they carry a responsibility not to exploit grief and tragedy? Some argue comedy should be untouchable. If you don't like it, change the channel. Others believe that words matter, and when jokes cause genuine harm, networks must act. Neither side is fully right. Neither side is fully wrong. What's clear is that in 2025, the stage of late-night comedy has become a frontline in America's culture wars. Closing reflection. Comedy has always thrived on pushing boundaries, making us uncomfortable, exposing hypocrisy. But Jimmy Kimmel's suspension reveals something new. The line between freedom and offense is thinner than ever. As Kimmel prepares to return to the air, one question looms. Will this moment make comedians more cautious, or more defiant? And perhaps the bigger, darker question is this. If even comedy is no longer safe from the trenches of politics, what does that say about the future of free speech in America?